that you, Comrade Shandu, with the EFF, that you think you are going to put in place to counter what the ANC failed. Because we saw the tactics, we've got the tactics, we've got the strategy, we've got what is our vision of which is the national democratic society. One thing that you want to bring to South Africans, not to the ANC. We come again to the one of, I think it was you again, who said the ANC does not want to get away with labor programs. When you remember, when you go and read the resolution of 2007 and also go to the resolution of Smoga in 2012, the ANC clearly came out and said, we are against labor programs. And even Constance was in conference. You know, Constance was saying it has its own program to deal with labor programs. You must come here and mislead the House. From the one, I want you from the like this, from the Chekati to give us I want you to give us the reflection of what you say about statistics, because we don't want people to come here and misrepresent the reality. When you say black people who were educated before 1994, that there are more than those who are educated now, because in your analysis again, you must take it into consideration the fact of the population growth, because the population is not the same. You know, so those are things that you need to take into consideration. But there are many things that you want to engage on, but
thank you. Thank you.
I'm proudly a member of one church. Unfortunately, I only see 100 black people engaging each other about their own hunger in a land filled of food that they cannot attain and enjoy. If you take a look around, there's not a single white person here who is saying, I'm here to distribute what I have to you. We are all here fighting against each other about something that we can all stand up and say, you know what, this is what my father fought for, and I'm going to go and attain it. So being black is not, being proud and black is not just about sitting here and talking degree English and an uppity in the English. Being black means, I don't understand, it's also woman, and I'm going to go and fight for the economic freedom and emancipation. Right? Listen, you know, I'm a student here in UKZN. I was an entrepreneur before. I was a black woman who had a business. And you know what? It's not just the ANC who's letting us down, but it's us who are just saying, I am economic freedom fighter and this is my revolution, or DA, we are here. No. What is laying us down is the amount of red tape. Do you understand the red tape that, you say that I don't believe you. I'll tell you this, I'm not here for this jargon or any intellectual talk. I'll tell you the truth and what I live. Where I come from as an entrepreneur, a black person's business does not matter. You guys are being conditioned to go and be employed by white. It's not about FM, it's not about TA. You know what it is? It's about the fact that you can only enjoy 30% of your income in this country and the rest goes to taxes. That is the issue. Because at the end of the day, guys, you need to understand something. If you are economically dependent on government, you will never get out of poverty. You need to understand that in this country, we are not an entrepreneurial advantaged country, especially for black kids like you guys. So you guys need to understand at the end of the day, when you come out here, it's not about ANC cannot do this for me or EFF will do this for me. It's about I am going to go out there and I'm going to fight the white man and support it. So
there's much that has been said, but what I would like to clear out here is that you cannot say Mandela is not a sellout Mandela is set out. Mandela is officially a white project. No one can dispute that. He was smuggled out of jail by white people to serve white interests. As his first assignment was set out, he went to the grave of a white supremacist, the architect of apartheid, Henry Foot. That was his first set out assignment. Henceforth, Nelson Mandela got too busy championing a white cause and neglected to build the Sobuwe and people's legacy. As Mulawi said, that we as the youth of occupied Tanzania will get so caught up in this case of nationalism and our agenda is set by the political elite. So our role and duty of the current generation of South Africa, of Azania, occupied Azania, is that we take the entire country, the entire nation back to the dream of Sobu and Igbo. And lastly, I would like to quote a quote by Frantz Fanon. I will not vulgarize him now. He says, for a colonized people, the most essential value is first and foremost talent. Talent that will give them bread and above all, dignity. Black people are not respected. Frank Williams speaks about three dimensions in the world. You have human needs, it's white people. You have your subhumans, the red Indians, the Asians, the Indians. And then you have the non-being, the object. It's us black people again. Thank you.
Let's debunk feelings. There is no exceptionalism. There's no South African exceptionalism when it comes to colonialism. This notion of special type colonialism is one of the many myths engineered by the ANC to protect their sellout process so that you do not see for what it is. So, in the DRC, for instance, in the Congo, the Belgians were there. When the revolution happens in 1960 and Patrice Lumumba takes over, they are there. In Zimbabwe, so-called rotation, the whites are there. In Algeria, the French are there. So this thing about, Fanon is very clear. For a colonized people, not the francophone or the anglophone, and create some invariant nuances, in this space. Revolution is about land. Karl Marx is clear, Frederick Engels is clear, Lenin is clear, that you cannot theorize or conceptualize emancipation or liberation outside the land question. It begins with the land question. Now, how do you expect us in South Africa? But let me ask you this. Practically speaking, we are landless as black people. By the way, let's correct this thing. It was the World Bank in 1996 that had to say to the ANC, if you don't do something about the land question, there's going to be problems. The way buy a way seller concept is a World Bank concept, pathetic as it is. The ANC, after coming to power in 1994, had no plan, nothing, no commitment towards giving land back to black people. So you can take me to all documents today. This ANC document says this. In 2007, Labour broadcast input one is correct. The ANC says these things must go away. But they are here, and they are still vulgarizing, they are still ravaging our people. So why should we care what should resolve done in 2007 when 9 years later this thing is still there with us? Lastly, you can't say class. The entire political establishment is a sellout. There is a question, important question of power that after 1994, political power, the capacity to change the lives of black people from 1994 up until now has always lied in the hands of the ANC. And nobody else. You have the constitutional mandate, you have the political power. At some point, the ANC had a 2/3 majority in parliament, where it could have passed many progressive laws to change the lives of black people. It has refused to. So you can't now say, no, in favor, take responsibility done it today, you want to accept. Usually you have power, you use your power to defend white people. Marikana is a case in point. Ramaphosa deploys police there to go and defend white interests. Who is responsible? The ANC. Tatan is killed by who? The ANC. But don't come here and talk nonsense, please.
Thank you very much. I nearly said because Jackie is being poetic and emotional. I was confessed. One thing I think we must learn is that we can make sense without shouting. Let us keep it. They are very important to note. One, what has led to a collapse of the Soviet Union? That is the first question. What has led to a killing of Saddam Hussein? What has led to a killing of Saddam Hussein? They are not the similar case studies, but they are interrelated. I agree in terms of an advancement of there is a sabotage. There is no dispute about the superpower of the capital in control and in the advancement. But one thing we must not just leave out in terms of our argument is an analysis of the international balance of forces, because a failure to connect with international balance of forces had a great element to collapse a good cause, because you do not want to apply science in the implementation. You want to apply emotion. That is why I was very critical on making sense without shouting. Because you may represent a good cause, but because of not reading properly balance of forces and how they shift, international and domestic, you then lose a very good cause based on not applying a proper tools. Now, why the ANC believes that there must be a connection, as the ANC moves toward the east, knows that there are some other critical, important aspects. Because while you're fighting the capital, but you must know that the superpower is obviously in the capital, and the capital is brutal, by the way. The brutality of the capital, that is why I make reference of these four scenarios. The Soviet Union was collapsed solely because it does not represent what the capital wants. Saddam Hussein also was assassinated because the capital felt threatened on areas that he wanted to do. So those are just few things that I just want to cover. Because of time, let me just go into one aspect which I think it was just misrepresented. I cannot say land is not a major struggle, but I said we must not focus our struggle into a sectorial issue. That is why education becomes a sector, land becomes a sector, economy becomes a sector, and there must be a programmatic approach in order to cover all other sectors for you to transform. Because you don't transform one sector and think you will transform the economy and how the production and the reproduction of our economy. Thank you very much. This thing is easy. What you call ANC 2007, you resolved that you're going to do away with labor broadcast. 9 years later, what has happened? We are still at these universities fighting out socially, and we are sitting in government as the ANC. So stop lying to white people, black people, that you've got the political will to do it. You don't have it. One. Let me make another example that JT has just made. When you talk about the land question, people are saying no, the ANC is doing something about the land question. The land question is going to be resolved. Nonsense. Let me tell you this thing. Since 1994, only 8% of the land has been returned to what the people. If we move with that pace, it's going to take us 100 years to retain only 80%. If we are still going to say to white people, no, you see my people want this land, I'm willing to buy it from you if you are willing to sell it, that is nonsense. That is nonsense. The land will never be returned if you're going to lose this direction. Again, let me note this. I think Jerry said this also, that at some time the ANC had two-thirds majority in parliament. What fundamental constitutional amendment that you made was the progressive evolution of the people? What did you do? We get two-thirds majority in Berry here. Did you only bring us the gear policy from the World Bank? Is that what you brought us? Did you bring us privatization? Did you bring us more outsourcing to our people? Is that what you did? Did you intensify the modern slavery that our people are being subjected to? Is that what you did for us? Because if we are going to continue with this thing of people coming here and saying many things, and some people are saying, no, the land question is a sector in the revolution of the people, when the land question itself is the fundamental basis of where our revolution is based on. The struggle for black people starts with the land, it's the basis. Anything else is secondary to that. And also we must add this, if we're fighting for the land, you must remember, we are fighting for the economy itself, for the economy is the land itself. So what are you saying to us if we say we must not fight for the land? In closing, let me say this one last thing. There remains a time where as black people we need to be really critical and understand that as moving forward from here, we cannot apply the same neoliberal ideology that the ANC and their friends in DA are applying, because it's one word for black people. Black people, we've got Bigo who said to us, black first. We've got Sobuwe who said to us, land first. Those are the things that as black people need to go back to, because this neoliberal freedom charterism, sell-out documents have not worked for our people. So we need to approach this thing with a new issue. And I hear some people are saying we're coming here to criticize the ANC only. Don't worry. The black agenda is going to be launched next month. The black people of South Africa are going to be directed and giving strategies of how do we get back our revolution. Thank you.
When I came here, I was under the impression that we're here to answer the question, was Nelson Mandela a sellout? And all that has happened is that we've conflated issues, right? Now, I'm a lecturer here. No, wait. I just want to say something. When we set questions, right, we expect a particular answer, right? Now, we've been going off the tangent, and my man back there, he says something. He tells us that he's disappointed, and yet he's sitting there listening to people talking about issues that have got nothing whatsoever to do with the question that we were supposed to answer here. I mean, I think that we could sit here and talk all day about land issues, but so far from what I've been hearing, we are not even attempting to answer the question that we're supposed to answer. So I find that very funny, and he's got the audacity to say that he's disappointed. He should be disappointed that we are not even discussing what we're supposed to be discussing here today. So I think, just lastly, I think listening is a skill. A lot of people don't do well here as students because they don't have good listening skills. They're supposed to listen.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe before I allow Nicole to come through, maybe as the chairperson I need to make this comment. Thank you. Attention. I think as students, you should really be proud of yourselves. In the manner in which you have behaved yourselves, I applaud it. I have to, in his absentia, really condemn this behavior. It's unacceptable, especially coming from a lecturer. And I appeal to all of us that we don't exhibit the same behavior. We have behaved well, and I think we are coming to the climax of our debate. I'm going to allow Nicole now to present her closing arguments. Oh, it's back. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Thanks. I first of all wanted to answer the question at the back, and I've got no problem with you speaking any language of your choice. I just think you were trying to be funny because you came to English to everyone else. So live your life, my friend, live your life. I think that your question was around how we get our supporters to buy into a process of land reform. And I think that in the last couple of years, the DA has become quite unequivocal in what we stand for and whether our supporters identify with that or not. I know in numerous cases we've had complaints from people because some of our candidates are young or our candidates.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, go for it. Wait.
Or some of our candidates are black and sort of formerly white communities, or some of our candidates are gay. And we basically said to people, this is the policy of the Democratic Alliance, this is what we stand for, and if you don't agree with this, then you stop voting for us. And I think that that's becoming more of a sentiment you see from the DA. It's been said repeatedly by our leader, and it's something we stand by. We stand by what our positions are on certain matters, and we will implement them when we're given the opportunity to do so, and we won't be distracted by racists or by people who don't identify with what it is we stand for. I want to just comment on something about what the gentleman said at the back about how all the opposition parties only talk about the ANC. Because it's driving me mad. Because first of all, it's not true. I think that from all of the other opposition parties, there were other ideas put forward that didn't simply comment on the performance of the ANC. But second of all, this debate was very much framed around the ANC. It was framed
yes, maybe just before. Sesiyaqeda bafowethu. We are about to finish. So, can I allow Mtate Mlawuthi?
No, thank you. I think, truly speaking, DA is the last to lecture us about land. DA is the last one to tell us anything about land.
Aye, come on.
It is the last organization to lecture us about this. The other thing I just want to, in actual fact, DA has achieved what it wants. In fact, by all measures, it's supposed to cease to exist. It speaks about liberal democracy, liberal constitution, rights, democratic institutions. We all have that. So DA has no role to play in our revolution. Yeah. The other thing that I want to speak about is that, when I started reading Marx, Fanon, Biko, and Sobuku and all those things, I was very overzealous. So they were so fashionable. But later on I realized to say, one person posed a question to me, Mona, you are speaking about socialism and socialism. Tell me practically, how is it, or what kind of society is a socialist society? How are you going to construct it practically? So to go beyond quotations and phrases and all those things, what we need in conclusion is the human resource capacity to construct a socialist society. For now, we don't have any national consciousness, and I'm going to just make an example. If now imperialism that we speak about says we are going to close Facebook, in the absence of national consciousness, all of us are going to say we are being sold out, and we have lost trust in the political system. What we need engineers for humanism, so that we need water scientists, so that when we conduct the revolution we theorize about, people are able to test the water we drink. We need soil scientists. When you're speaking about land is not about land. We will need agriculturalists, soil scientists, and all those things, human power and the capacity. So the whole notion of theorizing about socialistic revolution without practically putting alternatives that are practical and saying this is how we're going to evaluate ourselves is just total hogwash. Thank you.
You want to? Okay, go for it.
Thank you. Allow me to just say, as a matter of fact, I believe I said this earlier, mine, and perhaps even to some extent my colleagues' role here was to present a neutral perspective. It was not to provide any excitement. I knew that this is exciting enough, but we didn't hear. However, I must say, because of the organization of this event, which is overall impressive, I did happen to be a third speaker or a speaker in the middle. So I was not presenting anything to excite you, and it is very disappointing that you be disappointed at people just because they do not excite you.
Yeah. Siyabong. Thank you. Oh. Siyabong. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have reached the end of our session today. As much as I would love us to continue, but because of time, we have got to wrap it. And as a way of wrapping it, I want to first just to ask you to give all of yourselves a big round of applause in the manner in which you have conducted yourselves. I think the engagements of today, obviously, the point of this debate is not to come to a conclusion and to say we have walked out and agreed and resolved that Nelson Mandela was either a sellout or not. But the purpose of this engagement was for us to engage critically our views and our thoughts around this topic. And I think we have to give all our panelists a big round of applause in the manner in which they've engaged and the level of debate. As much as we'd want this debate to go on, it can't go on forever. Because I know the ANC would want to respond and the EFF has a lot to say. The DA equally so. But we have to draw it to a close, and we'd like to thank the Afrism movement